So EarFun's a brand that I've been covering for years now, and I do like them because they tend to offer a lot for the price point and more features than the competition, with very good sound quality and general quality of their products. And this is no exception here with the Air Pro 4 from them. So the Air Pro 4, they are active noise cancelling in-ears that have up to 50 decibels of noise reduction. They support a huge array of codecs, quite a few, because we've got LDAC support, which not all of them support. So high-res, wireless certified. We've also got Qualcomm's AptX adaptive and AptX Lossless audio support with them. LE audio and Auracast support too. Really good. Now the case, it is wireless, supporting wireless charging, and you'll be able to get 41 hours additional from the case and a runtime on a single charge from these of 11 hours. That's not using LDAC, mind you. That's the AptX adaptive codec. So still very good runtime with them. They have an IPX5 water resistant rating to them, so you can get a bit of sweat on them or water, it's not going to be a problem. They have a fully featured app, and I'll be letting you know all about them in this full review. So here is what we get included with the Air Pro 4s. There's a cleaning tool, instructions on how to clean the little mesh inside and the contacts, user manual, and of course the earbuds themselves, they are there. Now, spare tips, yes, they do include quite a few. So they come with the mediums already on them. I'll just open this up and show you that it's very neatly laid out there, that we do have a lot of different sizes there that we can test out. And very important, of course, to get the best seal possible in your ear canal, and that means you're going to get not only the best noise cancellation, but the best sound quality. And finally, there is a Type A to Type C cable. The earbuds are lightweight, pretty standard weight here of 5 grams, and with the case, you're looking at 55, the total travel weight. So the case is a nice, small, compact size. You can see the status LEDs there for the battery life of the case. And there's some LEDs inside there. Now they're held in place with magnets, pretty standard. There's the 2 charging contacts right there, and they'll sit in there nicely. And when you give it a shake, there is no annoying rattling noise. So it's not going to rattle like you're carrying around some keys and some coins in your pocket. No, not at all. And you'll see clearly labeled left and right. There's a button right there. That's for the reset, and our Type-C port there at the back. So does the case support wireless charging? Yes, it does. So that's the Qi standard wireless charging compatible, which is good. And the charge time is going to take us about 2 hours. And for every 10 minutes of charging, we get 2 hours of playback time. So with the case here, you get in total 52 hours. That's 11 hours on a single charge, and you get 41 additional from our charging case here. So it's quite good with the runtime we do get. They have in-ear detection. They are using 10mm composite drivers, so the bass is quite good. And we have the active noise cancellation with them with 6 microphones, AI algorithm, and that uses the sound noise cancellation too for our calls. So there's quite a bit packed into these. They support Snapdragon sound. You get AptX support as well. They're AptX Lossless and even LDAC support. So quite a bit. So there are IPX5 sweat and water resistance. We have capacitive touch controls on this surface here. And like all of them, I do find them to be a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes I'll tap, depending on which side you want to use, it's volume down or volume up. And I have to go and repeat that. And sometimes when I go to pause, it doesn't work. So I would say it works about 80% of the time. Pretty typical there. That's the only thing. I wish it was a physical click-in button that would work a little bit better. So this plastic here, you can see is shiny. That's matte on the back. There is no sharp edges. They are comfortable. The stem design means they don't fall out. I prefer this design. Having the stem there, it just feels a lot more secure in my ear. I get a good seal with the silicone tips here, which are very easy to pull off. Just come off like that, okay? And then you can pop them back on, so quite easy. So we have one mic here. That's the one that I would say is dedicated mostly to the voice calls. And then we have one on the side and another one here. So there's 3 mics in total on each of them, giving us that 6 microphones in total, and overall good quality to them. And they're very light, as mentioned before, that 5 grams, so not heavy at all. In the past, EarFun has been very good with their apps, giving us a lot of options, equalizers and C options, and thankfully it's no different here. You get a lot Now, there are firmware updates. I have recently applied one when I just got them. It advised me using the app that there was an update. It added some other options like this here, the ambient sound. So under noise cancellation, which works very well, I tested this on a long-haul flight from Zurich to Hong Kong. I was testing them out, and you notice that it makes a big difference to that cabin roar that you get, that noise that you continually hear from the turbine engines, and just the plane moving through the air. All of that is cut right down, made a big difference. I used the strong ANC setting. We have balanced. You've got AI environmental adaptive, active noise cancellation. You have AI air adaptive and wind noise cancelling. So it focuses on that wind noise that you get around them to just try and reduce that to improve your listening experience. And then just normal. Now there's a game mode, which is a low latency mode that I recommend if you're watching also video. You want to turn that one on so you're not getting a noticeable delay or anything like that. Equalizer, I have it on the default. You can also set custom equalizers there. There's a lot in there, as you can see, the presets. So quite a few to go through. And I'll show you that you can customize controls as well for the capacitive touch, which is my only complaint with these, really, is the capacitive touch. I just find hit and miss, I talked about before. That is it. Microphone, you have automatic, or you can have it always on the right ear or the left ear if you're only going to be using one of them, and just handle voice calls. You can do that, and they handle the voice calls well. I'll give you a sample later on of what it does sound like, the microphones and the call quality. You've even got support for LE audio. So we've got Qualcomm's chipset in this that gives us Qualcomm sound, and you have the AptX adaptive, AptX Lossless, and even LDAC, but LE audio too. You can enable that if you want. So you get a lot with these. And I'll show you under here, it's with the Bluetooth quality. So this is where you can adjust this and change that. Now, if you're going to be using dual devices, you can't with LDAC. You have to disable that and then go along and turn it on. Now, for my trip, I went with the AptX Adaptive. I found that the quality was very good and the battery life isn't as bad as what you get with LDAC. LDAC really halves the runtime from 11 hours down to about 5.5 or so. So that's the trade-off with using high-quality codecs. Get that compression just basically removed completely. You won't hear it. With the highs is where you really notice it. But I find that the best trade-off is lossless mode there with Qualcomm's AptX Adaptive. So a lot in here. There's even the dual device settings and your firmware update. So that is the EarFun application. So focusing on how they sound now, the bass is very good. It's not heavy-handed. It's not over the top. There's no distortion. And like a lot of brands out there, they haven't made the mistake of forgetting about the highs. Highs are detailed. They're not overly harsh. They are present and a lot better and coming through clearer than other brands that I've been recently testing out. Mids with vocals sound good. I've been listening to all sorts of genres, so not just tracks like this one here, which is very bass heavy. That is where you certainly notice that bass. Now, top volume, maybe a bit of criticism here from me on it. Yes, it could be a little bit louder. That's only one area I've found. Sound-wise, these tick all boxes for me. You get that great ANC, you got LDAC support, and do you notice the LDAC when you swap? You do, but it's very minor. And if you're after battery life and runtime, I would say stick with the AptX. That's probably your best bet to go with that. But if you're someone that really wants to hear those instruments, the highs especially in some of your tracks, you don't want any annoying compression, then use LDAC. But the warning here is that, okay, it's going to half your battery life with it. Finally, I have been testing out the latency, and you put it into the gaming mode, it does improve things. So I am here in Netflix, and let me just play an episode of something. Okay, and I've noticed that the audio is pretty much in sync with their lips. This is using the AptX Lossless at the moment, and it has been absolutely fine with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 phone. No problems.
Microphone sample with the Air Pro 4s. So there are 6 microphones in total. They do apply noise cancellation to improve the call quality. But as a result of removing the sound from the background, you can hear that my voice isn't super clear. It is a little bit muffled. Can I be understood? Yes. And it's getting rid of that background noise, which is good. I just wish the mics were a little bit clearer.
So the Air Pro 4s, they are using Bluetooth 5.4. As soon as you open the lid, they start to then pair up with your connected devices. You can have dual devices or just the single. I have my phone at the moment, and placing them in my ears. Very easy to get that fit. I love the stem design. I think it's a proven design, and this is why you see a lot of in-ears and active noise cancelling earbuds like this that are using the stem design, because they're secure the fit, so they haven't fallen out on me at all. I could easily jog with these and they're not going to drop out. Now, the range of them has been good. Using the AptX codec, I've encountered no problems. I did end up using these, as mentioned, when I went to China, used them on a flight, and I did not have any issues at all with disconnections. With LDAC, your range is a little reduced, however. It won't be quite as good as AptX, and of course, LDAC codec, while you gain that quality, and I'm all for this, the battery life really does reduce. So it won't be 10, 11 hours as it would with the AptX adaptive. It's more like 6 hours. You're almost halving the battery life as a result. And of course, it depends on the genre of music you're listening to and the volume you use to as well. That's going to affect, again, the battery. But I find the runtime to be very good for in-ears, and then you get the additional charges out of the case here. So if you're just using the AptX codec, it is 11 hours on a single charge with the additional 41. So I never had to charge these on my trip there and back from China. And I did go on a long 13-hour flight on the way back, and it never failed me. The battery was still good by the time I'd done that trip going to China from Spain and back again. So phenomenal battery life. The noise cancellation, especially in the aircraft, was very good. I noticed that difference to remove that engine turbine noise. It reduced the cabin noise and dropped it right down to make it a little bit more bearable for such a long flight. And I find these are better long-term than having the bulky over-ears. It depends, of course, on your personal preference on what you do like. Microphone quality, I got a bit of a complaint there. As you heard, that it wasn't amazingly clear. It could be a little bit clearer. I think the mics for call quality and the capacitive touch controls, as I mentioned in this video, probably about 3 times, is a little bit annoying for me. That tapping there that just sometimes doesn't seem to register. Otherwise, for their sound quality, the features they offer, the battery life, these are very good. The EarFun Air Pro 4s. Thanks a lot for watching this review.